Hi, my name is Moana, and this is my reading buddy Spike. And I am a reading and writing lover who disliked English class as both a student and a teacher, and I am now documenting my journey of rediscovering my love for words. This holiday season, I have been on a reading adventure to read Christmas novels across many different genres. And normally, when I think of holiday books, what comes to mind is cheesy rom-com type stories, which I do read once in a while, but I'm not always in the mood for, which might be the reason why I've never made it a point to read Christmas books. I started researching and was actually delightfully surprised to see that even though there are a ton of holiday romances, there are also holiday books across other genres. One of the main reasons why I started my booktube channel is because I love reading and I love talking to other people about the books that I'm reading. But to be honest, I don't know a lot of people who read the same books that I do. So with the hope that I'll be able to find other like-minded people who love to read and discuss the same books that I'm also reading, I would like to present you with a list of 12 Christmas novels that are not all romances. Before we get to the list, one thing that I want to touch on very briefly is that I absolutely love creating TBR lists. Ever since I was a little kid, I was always researching and coming up with so many lists of books to read to the point where it was like an entirely separate hobby from actually reading the books. I had notebooks and notebooks of reading lists that I had compiled based on different themes, and I absolutely love going through anthologies of literary criticism. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that I love creating TBR lists, of course. However, I am very much a mood reader, and I have a really hard time getting into a story if I'm just not in the right headspace for it. So for this list, I may or may not actually read all of the books on it. Recently, things have been popping up on my feeds on several different platforms where people are upset that people keep sharing TBR lists that they don't actually read in its entirety. However, if you're a mood reader like me, then it makes a lot of sense why you might never read through most of the books on your list. And I think that's okay. If you're reading for pleasure, then you should be able to read what you want, when you want, and there's nothing wrong with that. Another thing, I haven't actually read any of these books yet, so I can't vouch for them, and I'm not necessarily recommending them since they could be good, they could be bad, I don't know. I will be reading a short snippet of what each book is about based on the previews that I read online though. So with that, you can make your own decisions. So let's get started with this TBR. The first book is a mystery thriller titled Silent Night by Mary Higgins Clark. This is a suspenseful tale about a young boy who witnesses a murder while shopping for his mother's Christmas gift and becomes entangled in a dangerous pursuit. I have seen this author's name many times in books on grocery and big box store shelves, so she must be very popular. I love mysteries, so I'm actually pretty excited to get started with reading this one right away. Second on the list is Wishin' and Hopin' by Wally Lamb. This book falls under the literary fiction genre, and it's a nostalgic coming-of-age story set in 1964 following a fifth grader's adventure during the Christmas season in a Catholic school preparing for their holiday pageant. So this one actually sounds really cute. For the romance genre, Royal Holiday by Jasmine Guillory is a contemporary romance about a stylish American woman who finds love with a British royal staff member while visiting England during Christmas. This one is giving me Love Actually vibes, which is a movie that I have watched many times, and I'm still unsure if I actually like it or not, so we'll see if I get to this book. Last Christmas in Paris by Hazel Gaynor and Heather Webb is a historical fiction. It's a moving World War I novel told through letters between a young English woman and a soldier, with pivotal scenes taking place during Christmas. This actually sounds fascinating to me because I just read a Regency romance novel where two lovers wrote to each other, and I absolutely swooned over their romantic letters. However, since this is a novel taking place during a war, I think I'm going to try to find out if the book has a happy ending first, because I just finished a Christmas book that claimed to be about the magic of childhood, but it failed to mention that it was also about the tragedy of war, which I wasn't happy about. So my next video will be about that book, so make sure that you're subscribing if you want to hear about that one. For the next one, I was really surprised to see that there are Christmas books even in the sci-fi genre. A Lot Like Christmas by Connie Willis is a collection of holiday-themed science fiction stories exploring Christmas across different worlds and timelines, including tales of alien encounters and time travel. I'm not a huge sci-fi reader, but I did read and enjoy almost everything from Isaac Asimov, so I'm actually looking forward to reading this book. Plus, I'm still in amazement that this is a Christmas book in the sci-fi genre, which I didn't even realize existed until now. So I'm going to try to get my hands on this book right away. The next book is in the fantasy genre. Hogfather by Terry Pratchett is a Discworld novel. I have never heard of Discworld before, so I had to look that up, and I found out that it's a very popular fantasy comic series, which is set on a flat planet that's balanced on the backs of 4 elephants, which in turn stand on the back of a giant turtle. For this particular book in the series, death must take over for the Hogfather, which is the equivalent to Santa Claus in this world, when he goes missing. According to a preview that I found online, this book will have you exploring your own beliefs and traditions of the holidays. It sounds pretty quirky, so if that's your kind of humor, you might like this book. I definitely didn't expect any Christmas novels to be in the horror genre, so I was really surprised to hear about this one. So it's titled NOS 4A2, and I get the feeling if you read it like a license plate, then that would be Nosferatu, maybe? I think, maybe. Anyway, so NOS 4A2 by Joe Hill is a dark fantasy horror novel featuring a supernatural villain who kidnaps children to a twisted Christmas-themed amusement park called Christmasland. I actually don't like horror books or movies or TV shows or horror anything, so I'm probably never going to read this one, but I have to admit that I am kind of curious to see what a Christmas horror is like. So if somebody else out there wants to read this and tell me about it, that would be most appreciated. So I keep hearing about this next book though, so this might really be something to check out. Skipping Christmas by John Grisham is a contemporary fiction that is a humorous story about a couple who decide to skip Christmas altogether and go on vacation, leading to unexpected consequences in their community. John Grisham is another popular name that I always see, but I've never read any of his books, so I think I am definitely going to try to read this book this season. I really love cozy mysteries. I think that's my favorite genre. So I'm excited to try reading 6 Geese a Slaying by Donna Andrews. This is a lighthearted mystery featuring amateur sleuth Meg Lanslow, who's investigating a murder during a Christmas parade where she's serving as parade marshal. Now, if you are also a classics lover like me, then you might want to read this Gothic Fiction, The Haunted Man and the Ghost's Bargain by Charles Dickens. This is a lesser-known Christmas story by Dickens about a teacher who makes a deal with a phantom to erase all his painful memories with unexpected results. This one definitely sounds exciting, and out of the entire list, this is the one that I want to read the most. In addition to adult fiction, I actually like reading young adult novels because they feel safe for me to read. I just listened to a podcast today where the host discussed reading books where you don't have to worry about disturbing details that could trigger you, and that's usually what you would find in young adult novels. Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Kahn and David Levithan is a charming story about 2 teenagers in New York City who develop a connection through a notebook of clues and challenges left in a bookstore during the holiday season, leading to a citywide Christmas scavenger hunt. And finally, our last novel is a middle grade book called When Christmas Comes by Katherine Patterson. This is a heartwarming story about a young girl named Kirsty who helps a lonely elderly neighbor rediscover the joy of Christmas while dealing with her own family's financial struggles during the holiday season. This book sounds perfect for this year since so many of us, me included, are also trying to deal with our own financial struggles while getting through the holiday season. So this might be a really good one to check out. So this is my list of 12 Christmas books that are not all romances. I am going to check out some of these, so you should be hearing about them in an upcoming video. But like I shared earlier, I am very much a mood reader, so we shall see if I actually do read these or if I end up jumping into other books that are not on this list. I would love to hear from you. Have you read any of these books? Are there any on this list that you are going to read this holiday season? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for joining me for this video. And if you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to see more of my book reviews. Until next time, happy reading and see you soon. Bye!